Hi, I'm Luke McIntosh, creator of BecomeABassist.com, and in this lesson I'm going to show you the two essential elements to creating your own beautiful solo bass pieces. And then I'm going to take you beyond the basics so you can create some solo pieces, some solo arrangements that are truly remarkable. Now, the vast majority of the time as bass players, we're kind of relegated to the back of the stage. We support everyone else, make everyone else sound good, but we kind of stay out of the limelight. Now, this doesn't bother me at all. I love just sitting at the back, just laying down a bass line, sitting in the pocket the whole time. But every once in a while, it's nice to kind of step forward a little bit, catch some spotlight, some of the limelight for yourself. And one way to do that is to play entire songs on your bass, not just the bass line, but the melody as well, and create your own solo pieces. Now, this isn't a super common thing for people to see, so when they do come across it, they're immediately kind of drawn in. Now, when I first started playing bass, I used to come across these solo bass pieces by guys like Victor Wooten, and I used to think there's no way I'd be able to play something like that, let alone create something like that. But when you start to look at it, when you start to really see what's going on behind the scenes, you realize that there's only really two really essential elements to creating a solo piece. The first thing you need is obviously a melody. You can't really have the song without the melody. And second of all, you need some kind of accompaniment. Now, as bass players, most of the time that's going to be some kind of bass line. That's it. It's super simple when you break it all down. The bare minimum that you need is the melody and some kind of accompaniment, which is most of the time going to be some kind of bass note. Now, I'll talk about adding in a whole bunch of other stuff in just a little bit, but I want to show you how you can create solo pieces and play songs using just this method with these two elements. Now, for this lesson, we're going to use What a Wonderful World. It's going to fit easily on the bass, and it's going to sound really good as well. Definitely go and check out What a Wonderful World. If you haven't heard the song before, it's going to make this lesson make a lot more sense, probably. Now, I've put this into the key of C, so it works well as a solo piece for bass. And like I said, only two elements are the melody and the accompaniment. Let's start with the melody first. Melody is super simple. We've got in the key of C, we've got the melody G, G, C, C, G, up to A, back down to G, then down to F, E, D, down to C, C again, and then last little part. Yeah, you've probably heard it before. If you don't know it by name, you've probably heard the melody before. Now, for our bass notes are also very simple. We're just going to use, like I said, the key of C, so we're going to use these bass notes. We're going to have 1, 2, 3. We're going to just use quarter notes. We're going to have C, up to E, F, down to E, then D, down to C, B, A, down to A flat here, 4 of those, then G, 4, then back to C, just like that. By the way, you can download the tabs and notations for everything you see in this video by clicking the link underneath this video. So go and check it out so you can play along with your own bass. So we've got those two elements, right? We've got our melody and we've got our bass notes. Now all we have to do is put them together. Now that means the melody is usually going to be on top and the bass notes are usually going to be on the bottom, right? So what that means is our melody is going to be mostly on the D and the G strings, and our bass notes are usually going to be on the E and the A strings. There are some certain points where it makes sense to kind of swap things around, but in general that's sort of what's going to happen. And by the way, I am using a 5-string in this lesson, but I'm not using the B string just in case you don't have one, so you can follow along with your own bass as well. So we have this melody, we have the 2 G's as a pickup, and then we have C both in the melody and as a bass note right here. So we have G, G, C, octave C's here. We've got 8th fret on the E string, 10th fret on the D string right here. Yeah, so our melody went like this. Up to that G right there. Now this G is kind of anticipating the next chord change, which is going to be an E. So we're going to actually use our low E for this one. This is part of the reason why I put this song into the key of C, so we can use our open strings. Makes things a lot easier for us. So we're going to have this. Yeah, so we jump up to that C first, and then we go down to that low E. Makes sense so far, right? For the next part, we actually get the bass note coming in a little bit before the melody. And if you remember all our bass notes, we have C going down to E, and next we're going to go to F. And we're going to use this F up here right now, because our melody's up here, and it doesn't make sense to use this low one down here, because then we won't be able to play our melody up here. So we get a little bit of a anticipation in the bass note. Then we're getting the A in the melody right here. So we're going to have, and then F, yeah, and then from here we're going to jump down to an E in the bass part, the 12th fret, and then the 12th fret on the G string as well. Yeah, so we're going to have, yeah, makes sense. And that E and the G, the E and the G, they are both together. Next we have a little bit of a walk down section. Our melody goes F, F, E, D, D, C, and our bass part goes D, D, C, B, B, A. Yeah, and they work sort of in tandem. You can mess around with the phrasing a little bit if you want, but for simplicity's sake, it's going to sound like this for us. Yeah, so I'm just playing quarter notes in the bass part. And I'm just using the phrasing of kind of the original melody there. Makes sense so far, right? See how we start to get a sense of the song when we do this. Next, we're going to have the C stays in the melody, but our bass note changes from an A to an A flat. Yeah, so we get, instead of the 5th fret on the E string, the 5th fret on the G string, we have the 4th fret on the E string, 5th fret on the G string. Yeah, so we get, yeah, then next we go down to this G right here, and then we're going to have a little bit of a shift out of position right here. We have C, C, B, C, D, C, but we're going to have to go C, C, B, C, and then for the D, shift out of position there, and then go back to the C, and when we get back to this C right here, we're going to hit this low C down here as well. Yeah? Makes sense so far. So the whole thing sounds like this. G. See how we're getting the whole song in there. We're getting the harmony and the melody and the bass note accompaniment. This is the kind of basis, the kind of meat and potatoes of creating your own solo arrangements, your own solo pieces, because we have everything that the whole song needs. But there are things you can do to kind of spice things up, make things a little bit juicier, a little bit meatier, and I want to share some of them with you right now. The first thing you can do to kind of spice things up and beef things up is to use full chords rather than just bass note and melody. So fill in the gaps in between those notes. So for example, if we're doing this, we could go, so full chord there. Super pretty there. Up to the F. Same thing. Yeah, do the same thing on the D minor chord. Oh, that one's a bit tricky. Same thing on this one. Oh, pardon me. Or you can go, yeah, so there's all these different options and ways you can fill in the chords. It's going to make it sound really rich and really full. By the way, if playing chords kind of like these ones is something you'd be into, I've actually got a free 8-part mini course that you can sign up to on Become a Bassist. Just click the link underneath this video, fill out the form, and you'll be sent all 8 lessons, complete with PDF charts and all kinds of useful things. They're super, super useful for creating your own solo pieces like this, or even just filling out the sound of your own band that you're into. So definitely check that out if you're into the chords. The other thing you can do to really bring your arrangement to life is change up the rhythms and make it feel a little bit different. So for example, this one we've been kind of keeping it very laid back, very chill, but you can chuck a backbeat in there and it's going to completely change the way the song feels, right? So check it out. You might do something like Oh, pardon me on that last note. But see how it's the exact same melody, exact same chords, but it feels completely different. This is what adding some different rhythms can do. And you've got complete control over this. It's your solo arrangement. You can do pretty much whatever you want. This can be an absolute ton of fun, so I definitely encourage you to try some different things out, see what works, see what you're into. But to recap really quickly, you learnt the 2 essential elements that you must have in order to make a good solo piece or a good solo arrangement for bass. You learnt that they are, first of all, the melody and, of course, some kind of accompaniment, which in our case is going to be some bass notes. I showed you how to do this with What a Wonderful World, but you also learnt how to take it a step beyond that through either using different chords, ways to fill in the gaps between the bass notes and the melody, and to also change up the rhythm so the song feels completely different. Thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. If you're interested in that bass chord mini course, be sure to click the link underneath this video, sign up on the website, and hopefully I will see you in there. But thanks again for watching. I'm Luke McIntosh, creator of BecomeABassist.com, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.